Hey there, Jester here. Things are a little bit of a different setup today because I have this giant dinosaur painting that I need to work on, and I need to set up my cameras a little differently. So I have the main camera filming the table, and the table camera, well, right now it's filming me. We're not going to see much of me for this one, I think. But yes, this is going to be a very, very busy week for me. I would like to get this painting at least to the point where I can set it aside, because I will be having a guest on next week. Well, you won't see the episode next week. We'll be filming next week. And I need to get the table cleared off for that. And, well, I've got a lot of cleaning and things to do as well. Okay, so just to give you a little reminder, Ilyich, get the pictures up. All right, so this point of the painting was the stage where I had the anatomy more or less down and just the basic background of the background. And then here I added some trees in the background, and then I added some middle ground trees here. And today I'm going to finally start working on the Tyrannosaurus itself. Oh, and if you'd like to know how I did the leaf patterns, that was an art sponge that I've had for the last, 20, 25 years. I think I bought this in college. Anyway, let's get to painting. There we go. Alright, I've got it a proper artist palette for this. For those who don't know, you hold them like this. So what we're going to do is start getting our pigments. I'm going to get a little bit of glow-in-the-dark paint, which apparently I've never opened before. How long have I had this? Because I definitely want to give him glow-in-the-dark eyes. So I'll be doing several layers of that to make sure it's nice and glowy. Let's see, for the actual body, and we don't really know what color the Tyrannosaurus was. I think that's one of the ones we haven't officially got down, but most dinosaurs seem to be brown. On the other hand, the doctor's nephew, who I'm doing this painting for, seems to like his Tyrannosaurus to be sort of an olive drab, so we're going to be doing that. Another way we're going to mix the basic color. I'm also going to make his underbelly a little lighter, just because add a little contrast. So start with some green in both cases. All right, and to make him, to kind of muddy the color a bit, to make it more olive, we're going to add a little red. And I want his tummy to be a little yellow, so we'll add a little yellow to that. And maybe a little white to his tummy. Come on. What am I doing? I've got a white over there. Ugh. Can't keep track of my paints sometimes. Alright, so a little bit of white. Just to make it a little lighter. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of dark brown to the main color. And then we're going to mix those up and see if we like it. I think that's not a bad green. I think I'm going to add a little more red though. Then we'll see about this other one. I think I'm going to add a little red to this one too because it's too bright. So, a little more red. And just a little red in there. Come on. Just to make them a little muddier. These aren't cartoon dinosaurs. These are going to be, you know, vaguely realistic dinosaurs. At least as good as I can do. Okay, I might add a little yellow to that later. Now mix this up. Yeah, that's looking better. That's a very good olive green color. Alright. That aside, I want a little more yellow in his tummy. Okay, I think I'm going to start by painting his tummy. Well, actually, no, I'm going to start by painting his eyes. Just so I can start in getting that. Because I'm going to want a few layers of this glow-in-the-dark paint to make sure that his eyes are real glowy. Yeah, it's not real visible now. So he's going to have kind of pale eyes. Okay, I'm going to put that in my water glass. I think I'm going to start with the tum. So I got my... I'm going to finish mixing it with the brush. I've got my very light green. I'm going to go in there. And I'm going to get that first layer of green down. The nice thing about paint is if you kind of go over where you don't want to go, you can always just come back in and paint over top of it. Like with these smears here, I dropped paint while I was making the background. I'm just going to paint right over that and it'll be fine. Okay. And then a little bit on the tail. So I've got his tail going. Yeah, originally I had drawn his tail going this way, but I think I liked it better this way. So I changed that to while I was sketching. Oh. So that's first color block down. Some of this paint off my brush. Don't need to get all of it off, it's all green. And okay, now let's start getting in on the body. I'm going to start in on his leg here. Problem is that this is going to cover up all my sketch lines, and I'm going to have to remember where all his bits are. So the knee comes in like that, and then he's got these skinny little legs. Down like this. Probably make his toenails and claws a little different color, a brownish gray. For now, I'm just gonna put his skinny little chicken feet on there. And he's got like a little nubbin off the back. Arm. Got such tiny little arms. Okay, and now back comes down kind of like this. And now I'm going to do his face, his neck. He's kind of got his neck hunched, so he's looking down at the viewer. Do his cheeks. I'm not going to do all of them because I'm not going to do them all the one color. I am going to start putting shades in there because otherwise I'm going to forget where all his anatomy is. So I'm going to do cheeks like that. They come down there. And then he's got his chin. I'm going to leave that blank because that's where his teeth are going to go. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't finished his tail and I haven't finished his other leg. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to darken this up a little bit more. A little more red, because that makes it look more like a natural shadow, to use the complementary color. We have an episode about this. And I think I'm going to put in just a little bit of black. Not much, because black is very strong. Okay, so we're going to mix the rest of that in. Now we've got darker darker green. And I'm going to use that on his back leg here. It's kind of in shadow, or at least it's farther away from the viewer, so we're going to make it a little darker. Skinny little leg. And then his foot. Need the little back nubbin toe. I guess it's a dew claw. Paintbrush out of the way. And I'm going to get his tail. Then the rest of his tail. A little bit of shading there. I think I'm going to switch to a smaller brush so I can get her in on his face. So we're going to kind of go under the eye, over the eye to kind of make his eyes sunk in a little bit, and then down the nose. And then this bit kind of under the nose. In there, and I'm going to kind of go where his knee should be. Kind of behind the arm here. Along the leg. Yeah, so that's the basic color blocks of my Tyrannosaurus. So I know where all his little bits should be. I'm not 100% on his tummy yet. I think I would like it to be a little more yellow, and I would like it to be a little more desaturated, so a little more yellow and a little more red. Can't just put my palette down on the painting anymore because I've got an entire dinosaur there. Okay, so let's clean this brush a bit. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's painting. Painting doesn't have to be perfect. Most things don't need to be perfect unless you're doing like nuclear physics or something. Let's mix that up a little bit. Okay, I think that'll match the overall color a little better. I'm gonna finish mixing that with the brush. I'm gonna go over his tongue again. Yeah, that matches him a little better. Painting can be pretty forgiving in some ways. So if you don't like a color, you can always just go over it, like what I'm doing now. I didn't think the green was quite right, so I made a different green. And now I'm going over that green. And if a little bit of the original green sticks through, well, that's okay, because we are painting an animal, and animals and other things from nature are never, perfect. There's always going to be a bit of mottling, a little bit of variation. They're always going to be just a little different. And then we got to do it on the tail. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little bit of black so I can get the shading started on him. Little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little down here to give a little definition to his tongue. And I'm gonna put some under his jaw. There's gonna be some shading there. And a little bit around the leg. And then on the tail, because his tail should be a darker color. A little bit under the arms. Anywhere you think there'd be a shadow. Maybe a little bit on his tail at the back here. Okay. And what do I want to do next? I want to give his eyes another go over with the glow in the dark. All right. So that is the start of color blocking out my Tyrannosaurus Rex. So next time you see him, he will be having more detail on him, but for now I have other things I need to do this afternoon, so I'm just going to let this dry and come back to it another time. Until next time, stay crafty.